This occasion, we are very, very, very fortunate to have our Guru Banteji, Most Venerable Kassapa Mahathera Banteji, our President, our Abbot. Now, I request Guru Banteji to give words of Dhamma, words of blessings.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Almighty Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, pattern one, overteaching, purpose, Rabantiji, Rural Monk, Nara Anagrikas, and past. Welcome to today's program. We are very fortunate to have such program. So, we have recited the Dhamma Chakapavana Sutta. Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, full Monday of Dhaka. After 2 months, came down to the Sarnath, Patana, Deer Park. He delivered the Four Noble Truths, his farmer project, five happened. Five colleagues, Papa, Dania, Asaji, Manama, Bhadia. These are the five ethics. They used to practice the extreme. So that Buddha, before becoming the enlightenment, as a Buddhadatta, he give up this extreme, two extremes. Indulge in sensual pleasure and to torture our body to detriment. So he renounced that one and he practiced the middle path. He taught the Four Noble Truths, Four Noble Truths, suffering, cause of suffering, and cessation of suffering, path leading to cessation path. This is Sila Samadhi Panya. We talk, we simplify, thought, three. Sila Samadhi Panya. Sila means just you have taken the fifth precept and the eighth precept. What does mean of Sila? Sila means morality and also training. That means I train myself to be good person. Okay? When you are become a good person, when you go to the family member, they will also become good person. Then all of you live happily, harmoniously, without any problems. And if there is problem, because of you knowing the cause of problem, you can adjust in your family, they live happily. Then you contribute to the other, your neighbor, and the society become very peaceful, very harmonious. Then Samadhi means mindful. Whatever you do, what you think, what you do, act, must be mindful. Mindful on your thoughts, mindful your speech, mindful your action. Therefore, you need to mindful from morning to evening. What you would say, what you act. Thoughts are in the mind, thoughts. Therefore, it's very necessary to watch your thoughts. First come thought, then speech and action. When you are mindful from morning to evening, you can so many things avoid problems, unnecessary things. This is the meaning of coming here. You came here. We also came here to practice the Dhamma, land of Dhamma. For monks, we stay here, Maha Bodhi Society, to practice the Dhamma. In our home, my family, there is no chance. We cannot practice the bhikkhu training in the family life. If you came here to learn the Buddha, teaching of the Buddha, then you had to practice your house, your home. It is the meaning. Then your family become very, very happy and harmonious. And wisdom, Sila Samadhi Panya. Samadhi means training of the mind, development of the mind, mindful, your speech, action, as I already mentioned. Panya means understanding the as it is, not as appears. There's a big difference as appears in the as it is. That you can understand by practicing the vipassana, uh, dukkha, anatta, anicca. Everything is changeable, and everything is suffering means mental suffer and physical suffer. When we come as a human being in this world, we will become with the crying. It means that the samsara is the suffering. Nobody born as a human being as a laughing. 95% born as a crying. Then we as a child, then grow, then become a young man, then go old, become old. These are changing, impermanent, changing. Then we go one die, then again reappear. So when we go to the last moment, we also go with crying. It is why Buddha said that good of suffering. Suffering means unsatisfactoriness. The meaning. So Venerable Buddhadatta will explain this. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Banteji. Now I request Venerable Buddhadatta Banteji, our director of Maha Bodhi Research Center, to, as Banteji told, to kind of explain about these points. I request Banteji to give the Dhamma.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, to the Perfect One, to the Supremely Enlightened One. Grateful salutations to our Guruji, Most Venerable Bhante. Salutations to Guru Bhante, and salutations to all the holy Sangha present here, and dear Venerable monks and Upasakas and Upasikas. A very hearty welcome and greetings on the occasion of Dhamma Chakkapavatana Day. At the outset, we would like to wish you a very happy Asala Puja or Guru Purnima or Dhamma Chakra Day to all of you. With the permission of Guru Bhante, as Bhante has instructed me to speak a little bit more about the significance of today. We will also learn why this day is very significant for all of us. This day we celebrate as the Dhamma Day. The Dhamma Ratana has arisen, and today the Buddha, when he attained enlightenment in Bodh Gaya by defeating Mara under this sacred Bodhi tree, he discovered this noble truth and he became the Samma Sambuddha. Bodhisattva became the Samma Sambuddha. That is how the Buddha Ratana, the jewel of the Buddha, arisen in the world. But when he traveled all the way from Bodh Gaya to Sarnath, just out of compassion, boundless compassion for all sentient beings, there are two striking features which tells about the Buddha's nature. First is his wisdom. His infinite wisdom led him to fulfill his paramis and became self-enlightened. And the compassion, karuna, mahakaruna, it drives the Buddha, like his heart, to teach this Dhamma for the benefit and welfare of all sentient beings. Therefore, the Supreme Enlightened Buddha traveled all the way to Saranath Isipatana Migadaya to teach the first sermon that is known as this Dhammacakka Pavattana Sutta. To whom, as Guru Bhanteji already said, to his 5 disciples, they have earlier left him, they were dwelling in the Sarnath in Ishipatana. Now, what does the Buddha teach here? The very first discourse, which actually becomes the framework of his entire teachings. And this, on this Asala Purnima, which the Buddha preached the Dhamma to the whole world. Therefore, this infinite, the supreme teachers of gods and men, we are so endowed, so grateful to Lord Buddha for giving us this Dhamma, our supreme teacher. Therefore, we celebrate Guru Purnima. Many of you, we say Guru Purnima. So the Dhamma Ratana, the jewels of Dhamma, Dhamma which never been heard before. No one even know about this path. No one know how to break the cycles of samsara, how to remove the sufferings. What is the path of eightfold path? Nobody knew before. Therefore, the Buddha says, Pubbe anano sutesu dhammesu. Dhamma which was not known before, Chakhung Udapadi, Jnanang Udapadi, Panya Udapadi, Vijja Udapadi. That means Chakhu means this light of this Dhamma Chakhu arose in me. The light of wisdom, the insight, the illuminating insight arose in me. That means this truth was Buddha's discovery. This noble truth which can lead us from bondage to liberation. Now, after hearing this first discourse, many in millions and in crores of divine beings, they became Aryas. But in the human world, only one, the first disciple, Venerable Kondanya Bhante, became the Arya. Because the first person who asks, "Oh Lord, please give me this ordination." Then the Buddha orders him, the first monk in the Sasana. Therefore, the Sangha set in motion by the Buddha. This full moon day marks the completion of Three Ratana, Buddha Ratana, Dhamma Ratana, and Sangha Ratana, which marks the anniversary of Buddha's first delivering the first sermon we call setting in motion the wheel of truth. Now, what is this wheel? There are many kinds of wheel, right? If you take this metaphor, the Buddha used the word chakka. Chakka is something which is moving on and on and on, with something which is pushing it forward, something which gives us motion. Our life is also governed through a wheel. We call it as wheel of life. Sansara chakka. Another chakka is bhava chakka. Or we may say kamma chakka, kilesha chakka. Or so many wheels we see. But Buddha says here the Dhamma chakka pavattana. Now turning the wheel of Dhamma, that means now Buddha set in motion the Dhamma chakra, which is not going to involve us in samsara, which is not taking us in this world of sufferings, but it is the way to liberate us. Now, samsara chakra is nothing but the karma that we do, and the karma becomes a bhava. And why we commit karma? Because of our ignorance and cravings. And this ignorance and craving is nothing but kileshas. When we know the paticca samuppada, the will, the dependent origination, how our life is conditioned by certain factors. there are 12 such factors. That is how this life cycle continues. Because of certain past conditions, we are now in the present. Now, when the present condition become active, it leads us to a future rebirth. Where it will lead us, it may lead us to a brighter existence, it may lead us to a dark existence. We may born into happy planes, we may born into unhappy planes, but still we are in this world. Therefore, the life cycle continues. We commit actions with ignorance, not knowing the reality. And when you don't know not the reality, then our craving also becomes stronger and stronger. And through craving, we again perform actions. And these intentional actions become a condition for our rebirth. Therefore, this cycle, paticca samuppada, when you know how our how these cycles through kileshas, the kileshas giving its a force, giving its a energy to move on and on and on. When you don't know the way and means to get out of this suffering, and the Buddha discovered this path leading to the cessation of suffering. Therefore, out of Buddha's infinite compassion, he says this chakra, Dhamma chakra, has also 8 spokes. Contrarily, in worldly life, how do we face sufferings? If we examine our life, we understand that continuously we're either bombarded by profit or loss, or name or fame, happiness or unhappiness. These are called the loka dhammas. Our life is affected by these worldly phenomena all the time. Like lave, alave, sukhe, asukhe, ninda, prasansa. Like that, many of you already experienced. Anyone here don't experience this? Everybody experience this. But how do you encounter? Now, Buddha's teaching is so practical here. Now, this sutta, the first teachings, it is so wonderfully the Buddha has framed it that it can apply to our daily life. How we can get out of this suffering of any conceivable, anything we can imagine. You will see why there is suffering, as I mentioned, because of these extremes. We go into profit, we go into loss. When you're happiness, we are happy. When we face the negative situations, we are unhappy. When you face blames, you're unhappy. When you're meeting loss, you're unhappy. When you're meeting with negative, disliking people, you're unhappy. So in our daily existence, what is lacking is the right path. Now the Dhamma, the Buddha is here teaching us, avoiding all these extremes, not going to pleasures, not wasting our life in sense pleasures, not torturing ourselves in the name of spiritual practices, rather going to a right path. Now what is that right path? The right path is this noble eightfold path. Right, starting from right understanding, right thought. You see, your understanding is your light that can lighten off the path. Your views, your thinking can be your own guide. And your actions, your speech, the way you lead a life, that is very important. When you lead a life with morality, then there will not be a moral departure. Then you can be happy here and now in this very life. When your mind is not restless and agitated. Earlier, we don't know. Nobody have taught us. Follow Panchashila. Follow this good behavior. But the Buddha taught us. This behavior is not good for you. These are unwholesome, unskillful ways. You give up. You cultivate good. You make a mind pure and peaceful. Then happiness and peace can be achieved here. These things nobody has taught us. Everybody teaches us do this ritual, do that ritual, do this and that. But the path is nowhere to be found. The path is here, this noble eightfold path. Then our samadhi, what the Buddha says, cultivation of mind through right thinking, through mindfulness, through right effort, and through your right meditative concentration. So, this way, when we know this eightfold path, just now I said, from Samma Ditti means right view, Samma Sankappa is right thinking. Any of you remember or not? Yes. And what is right speech? Samma Vacha. Then right actions. Samma Kamanto. Right livelihood is Samma Ajiva. And then we have right mindfulness, Samma Sati. Then Samma Samadhi, right concentration. So when you walk on this way, on the right path, then you can lead your life in a correct way. Now, Buddha is telling us you have to correct your life by following a right path. Shown us this path, the ultimate noble path that can lead us to this highest liberation and freedom and bring about blessings in our life. So, the right view is like the torch to light. Right aims will be his guide. Right words will be his dwelling place on the road. His behavior should be straight, that is, right actions. And his refreshment will be the right way of earning his livelihood. Right effort will be his steps, how you walk, how you lead your life with samma vayama, with right effort. And then right thought will be his breath. You're all the time mindful. Whether you're walking, you are sitting, anywhere, you are mindful. When you're mindful, then you are at peace. Is mindful, then you are at ease. You can be free from so many unthinkable problems and miseries of life. Therefore, when you follow this right eightfold, noble eightfold path, then the peace will be followed in your every footsteps. That is the message here. The Buddha has taught us first thing, 5 important points. First is avoiding extremes, following the correct path. And what is that path? But the path is not taking to anywhere. The path is here. Path is based on the truth, nothing but the truth. Now, before telling us the path, the Buddha also said, why you follow this path? Because inevitably there is dissatisfactions, that is worries, that is miseries, both physically and mentally. That is dukkha. Whatever terms we may say, but that is dukkha. Everybody experiences that sufferings. But whatever exists, it has also a cause, including the suffering. Suffering also has a cause. Once you realize the cause, then you try to remove it. And the removal of this cause will only be possible through following this noble eightfold path again. So 4 noble truths, and then 4 noble truths understood in a specific, distinct ways. And then we have noble eightfold path. And that is how the Buddha, after listening to this discourse, all these divine deities, starting from Bhuma Devas, the earth deities, Chatu Maharajika, then Yama, Tusita, Imanarati, Paranimita Vasavati, and then the Brahma, Kaika Deva, the 16 Brahmas, but not the Chatu Apayas. Imagine if you were not born as human beings, we would not be able to listen to Dhamma. If you are born as animals or some denizens or not human beings, lower than human beings will be deprived from Dhamma. In Manusa Loka, Bhagavan says, Anya Sivata Bhokondanyo, Anya Sivata Bhokondanyo. Right? Anyasi means Kondanya has realized. What Kondanya Vanti realized? Yam kinchi samudaya dhammang sabbang tang nirodha dhamma. Whatever there is arising, samudaya, whatever is subject to arise, is subject to cease. That is the wisdom and insight that arose in the minds of Venerable Arya's noble being, Venerable Kondanya Vanti. And that is how he became the first Sotapanna in this Manusya Loka. That is, and this Dhamma has surpassed to thousands and thousands of world systems, where even this normal, the sun and moonlight will not even penetrate, but Dhamma has risen to the highest and highest of existence. So, dear Upasakas and Upasikas, this sutta is so profound. I think everybody must read it, contemplate, reflect, trying to know what the Buddhas said. How do we understand and make it in our daily life, apply it in our daily life? Not just remembering, understanding. Then your path become right. As I said, follow a right path based on virtues, silas. There are three aspects sila: right speech, right action, right livelihood. Samadhi, samma sati, samma vayama, samma samadhi. And then panya is right understanding and right thinking. Correct? So I think this must be enough as we are running out of time. So may you all understand the Dhamma in your daily life. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be with you. May the blessings of Bharabante, Guru Bhanteji guide you on the path of Dhamma. May you all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana.